To learn something, you need to commit your full attention into looking at it, not just ordinarily looking with intensity and passion. The mind cannot be filled with ideas whilst learning. Learning requires full attention and an empty mind. To examine the world or a human being, you must look with all intensity and therefore learn from looking. To create something new, one must find itself diluted from knowledge, especially old knowledge that creates experiences in our mind that reminds us of something that we did or we learned in the past. That interferes with the discovery nature of humans. It stops you from going down the path of truth seeking. Knowledge is used as a protection and security. You want all the knowledge in the world so you can understand this world. But the truth is, for the discovery of truth, there is no path or knowledge that could help you. You are your own, and you have to create your own path, not using knowledge from others or path from others to create your own, but using your own mind to create your own path. Therefore, knowledge becomes impeccable to those who seek truth. To discover something new, to create, one must empty its mind first. And those facts and knowledges are included too. Acts like impediment to the new. So one must have a new perspective into learning something new. One must forget all of the knowledge he learned before if he's trying to create something new, which is what we are trying to do. It is called learning. Learning have two parts in life, the psychological and sociological. We learn through practice and repetition. This is how we learn physical skills. This is how we taught what to learn. But how do we learn psychologically? It is consistently translating the new questions of life into things that we have already learned. And that is not learning. Learning means implying something new and don't know into the question. If it is adding on to what is learned before, there is no longer learning and creating. It becomes stimulating. Learning is a mechanical of the brain. It requires full attention from the brain. Learning isn't just inputting information or knowledge, it's observing and understanding at a deeper level. It is the ability to start from the facts rather than thoughts and beliefs, and diluting those prejudices from those statements to draw out your own conclusion rather than using a conclusion to draw out the question itself. There needs to be no conqueror when learning. No conqueror from the outside that will influence how we think. Compassion is crucial in creating, but it is a conqueror in learning. Compassion devoke competition and emotion which will act as a conqueror to learning. Learning requires full attention on learning. It doesn't need any other emotions or knowledge. You just have to focus and learn, which means that compassion is not a good thing when it comes to learning. Learning is different from accumulating knowledge. Learning is considered as gaining knowledge and then acting on it. By turning knowledge into memories and experiences, that is not learning. It is accumulating. Accumulating doesn't flow. It's systematic. It's what we were taught in school. But that is no true learning. We don't need new knowledges. We don't need old memories. We don't need our own experience to learn. It's a method we call learning. But there is no learning within accumulating stuff. Learning is flowing, constantly on the move, never stopping to store knowledge into memories, never actually thinking that I'm learning, never actually realizing that gaining knowledge at the moment. Learning is happening as you go along. So there is never a retrogression or loss of knowledge. Learning is flowing, just like our life. We're in a flow of time. We can't stop our life going away. It's a constant flow, just like learning. But when we learn in the modern society, we often stop and we type or we read or we write or we memorize knowledge. We call that learning. But that is merely accumulating knowledge, building on what we already know, which is there's no new stuff. So there's no learning within accumulating. Learning is constant. We never have to think that we're learning right now to learn. It's constant. It's life. It's the truth in life. It's the knowledge in life. That's why learning is never stopping. It's going along through your life. You might not even realizing you're learning, but experiencing life is a part of learning. Wisdom differentiates itself from knowledge. Gaining knowledge is the process of acquiring information from the outside. The mind then creates experience from those information. We then experience and gain through the background the mind built. The background is built through experiences and knowledge we learned before. Wisdom is the understanding of the self, thereby requires the mind to be present at all times. That means the mind has to not interrupt or interpret from past knowledge, experiences, or understanding, else it turns to acquiring knowledge of the self, not acquiring wisdom from the self. Wisdom can only comes from present moment, the feeling of self. It does not require the mind to interpret or translate, but just feel the present moment and examine it with a few attention. Magic will happen when you try to learn wisdom with an empty mind. Learning is a constant flow of life. Wisdom is learned through the self. To learn the self, you must have an empty mind and an open heart. You can't learn yourself by using knowledge or methods you found online. You can only learn yourself by examining yourself carefully. Learning is what humans are meant to do. It is a natural instinct of humans to learn. But how we learn nowadays is not true learning. It's accumulating knowledge, accumulating skills. But learning is a different part of life. It's a different way of living. And it is true beauty within the style. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and see you next time.